Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we take a closer look at a peculiar little camera with a ton of features and try to answer the question whether it is worth your hard-earned money. This is the Dji Pocket 2. Enjoy. The Dji Pocket 2 came out in 2020 and is an action camera mounted on a small gimbal, giving it an optical 3-axis stabilization. I opted for the creator combo as it offers a lot of additional accessories. The regular package includes an exceptionally good case to protect the camera, 2 adapters, one Lightning, one Type-C USB to connect the camera to your phone, an analog stick attachment, charge cable, and an adapter piece for a regular tripod mount. When you buy the creator combo, you get an additional wireless microphone and a wireless receiver attachment for the camera that snaps in the bottom of the handle, a tiny metal tripod as well, and a magnetic wide-angle lens attachment. I really need to elaborate on this case cause it is not only very sturdy but has also room for the wide-angle lens, adapters, and the tripod. This is a fantastic compact design that I just wanted to praise for a moment. The camera itself also has a fantastic design. It is the most compact gimbal setup I have ever seen, and it is not only small and fits most pockets easily, but it also weighs less than 150 grams. Now the screen is a tiny 1-inch LCD screen as a result, but it's just large enough to get an idea of what you are filming. If you want to, you can use your phone as a screen using one of the included adapters. The controls are mostly touch controls, which work pretty well, more responsive than GoPros, that's for sure. And the only physical buttons are a on-off button on the side, a record button, a settings button, and if you so choose, a little analog stick looking thing and an additional settings button. The UI is pretty good for such a small device, but the settings are a bit limiting. If you want to have any control over your image, you have to activate Pro mode, otherwise you can't change things like the ISO or the white balance manually. A lot of features can be used via button presses. For example, if you tap the function button twice, you can center the image. If you tap it 3 times, the gimbal rotates 180 degrees to face you or vice versa. You can also boot the camera facing away from you this way instead of using the on-off button. It actually makes me wonder why they added the button on the side to begin with. All it really does is turn the camera on by accident when it is in the case. The camera can record up to 4K 60 FPS no problem, and while it does get warm, it does not overheat easily. You can also shoot up to 240 FPS, but only in 1080p. The camera has no internal storage, so buying a separate microSD card is required. The audio quality is surprisingly good, and if you have the creator combo, you can even use the Bluetooth microphone. And this is a microphone test for the Dji Pocket 2. This is without the Bluetooth microphone attachment. This is just the microphones that are installed into the camera. And I will say that I don't expect too much, but we'll see how this sounds like when I get back home. The camera can also make photos with decent sharpness and 64 megapixels, but this is by no means a photo camera. If you want a camera to do photography with, look somewhere else. Speaking of which, here's the thing. This camera has no weatherproofing and a lot of moving parts. If you're looking for an action cam to go out and be rough with, this is not the camera for you. Light sports should not be a problem, but I would not mount this on a motorcycle or take it for a swim. Here, a regular action cam is a lot more suited for the task. This is a camera for vlogging, walking, tourism, and B-roll. And because of the optical stabilization and tiny form factor, it does all of these really well. I even jogged a little with it and the image is almost perfectly stable. You can get some insane pans and tilts with minimal effort, or you can just use the analog stick and let the camera do it all for you. One of my favorite things to do with this camera is making time-lapse videos, because you can set the gimbal to move with the shot as the time-lapse progresses, which looks absolutely stunning. But there are of course some limitations. For one, we have a fixed 20mm focal length, so we can't zoom in or out. Well, technically we can, but this is a digital zoom that simply crops into the image, so that doesn't count. Then there is the magnetic lens, which makes the image ever so slightly wider, but in my testing the image is too distorted as a result. The other issue is the short battery life. You can record around 90 minutes to 2 hours with it, depending on your settings. The battery itself is not removable. There is one silver lining though. You can use the camera while charging, no problem. Another thing I might want to address is that the camera is a bit finicky at times. The gimbal has multiple modes and learning what exactly it is they do is vital to getting good footage. First, there's FPV. In this mode you can tilt, twist, turn and lean and the camera will follow no matter what you do. I never really use this and I don't think you should either. In follow, the camera will always try to keep the horizon level, but will follow your movement when you go up and down or left and right. This is perfect for most use cases. Locked will not go up and down and will always try to keep the image centered. This I found out works really well when running, for example. When the gimbal is drifting off, you can always recenter it, and I'm afraid that you will have to do this quite frequently, which can be a bit annoying. There's definitely a learning curve to filming with the Pocket 2, and getting the right shot is difficult at first. There is an argument to be made that the image quality is not that impressive, and that you can simply use your phone instead. Well, depending on what phone you are talking about, this is not necessarily wrong. But can your phone do this? I didn't think so. And this is where the Pocket 2 really shines, the optical image stabilization. Sure, modern cameras and of course smartphones feature really good digital stabilization, but this will crop into your image, tamper with your focal length and image quality, and it will also not work well in low light. This guy, however, does not crop your image, makes you stable footage even in dark areas, and will give you smoother pans and tilts than you could do. And despite all this, I struggle to make a good verdict here. As much as I want to recommend it to you, no strings attached, the Pocket 2 is honestly a bit too niche for my liking. If you want to go out and about and make footage on the go, you might want to look into a more traditional action cam, like the GoPro Hero 9, which is waterproof, dustproof, shockproof, and too offers a great image quality and stabilization. I made a review of this camera before, if you want to check it out. If you don't need a robust action camera and instead just want to film decent looking video in a small form factor, chances are your phone already does that. This is why I can only recommend the Pocket 2 if you are sold on its design and optical image stabilization. I would even go as far as to say, buy it used for cheap and see if you actually like filming with it before spending 450 euros on the creator combo like I did. But that's it on my part. If you have any questions regarding this camera or simply want to share your opinion, please leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching and of course, have a wonderful day.